Now, both of these two gentlemen, Rumi and Ghazali, were Sufis. They did not wear suit of the suit, but they were spiritual persons. But in the history of Islamic Sufism, we have got stages, we have got periods. Ghazali belongs to the fear Sufism, or fear mysticism of fear, Sufism of fear. They were imbued with the fear of God. You see, love was marginalized to their mysticism, to their Sufism. But in the case of Rumi, he was a Sufi of love. So his was love mysticism, whereas Ghazali's was fear mysticism. And there is a world of difference between the two. You will see in the case of Rumi that his main teacher and his main teaching is love. And he very explicitly said that in the religion of love there is no place for fear. That is what he says. Okay, as Rumi teaches, in the religion of love there is no place for fear. That is what he explicitly says. But when you read Ghazali, for example, you have you will feel with fear. He depicts God as a very frightening figure. But according to Rumi and according to his picture of God, he's a beloved. He's a beloved. Therefore, you enjoy sitting with him. So that's why it's full of joy, full of sorrow. And he said, "Oh, behead the sorrow. The sorrow is to be beheaded." That's why, I make a distinction between the two kinds of Sufism, two kinds of mysticism, and two kinds of personalities we have got here. Ghazali and Rumi. Before he became a Rumi, he was a mystic, to be sure. He was a Sufi. He knew Sufism very well, but mostly fear mysticism, or fear Sufism. He had studied Ghazali very well. I have shown in one of my articles that perhaps more than 100 places he had borrowed very important ideas from Ghazali. But in one of his sayings, he doesn't mention, he never mentioned the name of Ghazali in none of his verses, not at all. I think it is deliberate. He wants to tell us that he is broken, you see, altogether, from Ghazali and his school. He never mentions his name, nor the name of some of his other teachers, such as Imam al-Haramain and some others, because he was his teacher in theology. Ghazali was his teacher in ethics and morality and commentary and so on and so on. He never mentions none of these persons. The only name that he mentions is Shams. Because Shams was ever present. Now, but in one of his sayings that now we find in one of the books about him, he actually tells us that Ghazali was the world-class scholar, Alem Alamiyan, according to him. He was a world-class scholar, but he lacked love. See, that is what he said. That is exactly what he said. He was how he recognized and how he defined as well. A world-class scholar, empty or deprived of love. Okay? So that is what he tried to supply into his scholarship. And when love came in, actually the whole scholarship vanished and disappeared and faded away. You see, nothing was left. He has got so many allegories, so many stories to tell us, and these are actually the subject of later sessions. In one place he says that when a camel, as a guest, enters the nest of a bird, you have to imagine what would remain. in a tininess over there. That is exactly what he says. He was that in a tininess. Now the camel of love came, stepped into the nest, so that everything was shattered, demolished, destroyed, fractured. So this tiny nest was the nest of knowledge, nest of religiosity, nest of clear mysticism, and many other things. Absolutely destroyed. And the camel of love actually built gradually his own house.
Any other questions?
Actually, I need to know, that was the topic, just curious to know who was the master to Azali.
Sorry,
Who was the master to Azali?
the master of what?
Azali.
Ghazali, oh, the master of Ghazali. There are so many of them. Actually, one of the most well-known of them is Al-Kuwaiti, who was the teacher or the master of theology. Yes, and many others. I remember Rumi, some others.
For those who are leaving next week, same time, same place if you're interested, and we'll continue with questions for another 10 minutes or so.
We are no inquisitors of the day of judgment. No, I assure you that he never drank wine. That is, if you... no. By the way, he doesn't use this symbolism very much. He doesn't use it. Of course, he uses it to be sure. But, when you compare him, say, with Hafiz, for example, in Persian, or with Ibn Hard in Arab, you would you would never find a single page in which you wouldn't see the word wine being mentioned repeatedly and frequently. But this is not really the symbolism that Rumi works with. That is not the case. Of course, he uses it in order, yes, as you say, to tell us about his spiritual situation. But as far as his life is concerned, as far as his teachings are concerned, no, he was not in good health with the divine and right thinking. But of course, I'm not sure of fear, because that I say, because there is a difference of ideas between Shi'is and Sunnis. From the Sharia. According to Shi'is, both wine and beer are forbidden. But according to Sunnis, some of them, of course, beer is not forbidden. It's food. And wine is forbidden, according to some. And Rumi himself was a Muslim. He was a Muslim. He was a Jewish. And though, as I say again, there is no indication whatsoever he tried his poetry nowhere. But no one could say anything about his own actual practice in life. But sometimes when he talks about wine